Thanks a lot, Amarachi, and welcome to Business News. Latest report from the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries suggests an impending freeze for Nigeria's crude oil production after the country's output increased from 1.7 million barrels a day in July to 1.8 million barrels per day in August. According to the report, booming refining profits are helping West African oil producers sell cargoes at higher prices, while production showed declines in Libya, Gabon, Venezuela and Iraq. OPEC's Joint Technical Committee had welcomed the flexibility of Nigeria in freezing crude oil output as soon as its recovery reaches a sustainable production volume of 1.8 million barrels per day. South Africa's biggest cement producer, PPC, says it expects Canada's Fairfax Africa investment to raise a 9.2 billion rand, and that's about $700 million takeover offer. On Thursday, Nigeria's Dangote Cement revealed its interest in buying the entire share capital of PPC, which is also the subject of a proposed merger with local rival Afrisam. Earlier this week, while PPC is expected to consider all bids, sources say the Public Investment Corporation supports a tie with Afrisam and with Fairfax, while the world's biggest cement maker, Lafarge Holcim, is also monitoring the situation. Let's go to East Africa now. Kenya has lowered its economic growth forecast for the year 2017 to 5.5% due to drought and political uncertainty. This is further compounded by the country's electoral board's request for 12 billion shillings for a repeat of the presidential election later in October. The government earlier projected a 5.9% growth for 2017, but the economy expanded by 4.7% in the first quarter. The principal secretary in the country's Ministry of Finance, Kamau Thuge, says that the drought earlier this year hit the agricultural sector, which accounts for about 30% of output, while government revenue collection for the fiscal year was about 29 billion shillings, behind the revenue target of 1.5 billion shillings. Let's see how the Nigerian stock market fared today. It saw the biggest drop this week after heavy load shedding from industrial bellwether stocks, especially the NSE's biggest listed company. And we're talking about Dangote Cement. Let's join Bisi Adebayo for the details.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Reports. The two consecutive marginal recovery recorded by equities at the Nigerian Stock Exchange this week was knocked off by a heavy 1.84% decline in the all-share index and total market value at the close of Friday's session. This is attributed to renewed profit-taking from four major counters, particularly the industrial sector, which fell by 2.25%, and the consumer goods sector. The sell-offs affected the share prices of 25 equities, led by Numeth, Fitson and Honeywell Flour Mills, while Cutix, Transcore, Name Insurance topped a list of 11 gainers. Overall volume turnover for the day was slightly higher from Thursday's trading, but still around the 100 million units threshold from 3,367 transactions, boosted by Fidelity Bank, FBN Holdings and Access Bank. And that's it on the Stock Market Reports. I am Bisi Adebayo.
Thanks a lot, Bisi. U.S. stocks rose to record levels at the close of business today and posted strong weekly gains. But European stocks ended the week mostly negative after North Korea sent another missile over Japan in the Pacific Ocean. Here's a snapshot of today's performance. That's Business News tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Enjoy the rest of the week. I'm Anne Nwawadu.
Digital innovations that will drive payment solutions in the future in Nigeria and in Africa will be driven by the mobile phone, that which targets the small and medium enterprises. That's the submission of the two guest speakers, Brett King and John Chaplain, at the InterSwitch Connect conference, which held in Lagos. The event was organized by the InterSwitch Group, Africa's focused digital payments and commerce company.
This is a gathering of experts in increasingly converging sectors such as financial services, technology, payments and digital commerce. At the program tagged InterSwitch Connect, the future of seamless trade and commerce across the African continent is the crux of the discussions.
What kind of factors will shape your thinking? What is the right way to innovate in Africa? And could there be a wrong way to innovate? If we knew the answer, we will not bring the team of experts in this room today to share their experience with us. We don't know the answer.
Driving future digital solutions, whether in healthcare or communication, requires either an innovative evolution or disruptive innovation. For the guest speaker, the mobile phone is critical in the payment innovation space for Africa, while another speaker says payment solutions for SMEs is critical.
The big opportunity is really moving people away from cash to the phone as a payment ecosystem. That's the big shift that's really going to empower the economy. If you look at the potential for building economies of scale, the phone gives us benefits that we can't do with a plastic card or even cash or other payment systems today.
The second thing is that I think the thing that's going to really power Nigeria in the future is small and medium businesses, and they really need good payment services. So I think we're going to see a whole range of new payment services aimed at those small and medium businesses.
For the InterSwitch Group, this meeting should end with participants understanding their role in payment solutions of the future.
So what is actually required for the bank of the future is a digital identity that uniquely identifies the customer of the future. And solving that problem, for example, will make it easier to solve the problems for people who are currently not banked as well.
InterSwitch is an Africa-focused integrated digital payment and commerce company which started in 2002 and currently delivers innovative payment products and transactional services throughout the continent.
The Nigerian incentive-based risk-sharing system for agricultural lending has entered into a 50 billion naira agricultural financing partnership with Stanbic IBTC. The partnership will cover projects in livestock, crops, mechanization, logistics and poultry. Speaking at the launch of the scheme, the managing director of NERSEL, Mr. Aliyu Abdul Hamid, says under the partnership, Stanbic will give loans to bankable agriculture projects, while NERSEL will provide credit guarantees.
Agriculture takes a major role in the federal government economic recovery and growth plan. However, farmers face the challenge of funding. The Nigeria incentive-based risk-sharing system for agricultural lending, a public-private initiative, is partnering with Stanbic IBTC to provide 50 billion naira for the growth of agriculture in the country.
We came up with a product program to the size of 10 billion naira, and that is just phase one of the journey towards what we are talking about, which is to turn agri, to turn the total value chain of that sector to something that will be attractive and something that can generate revenue for the country.
Under the first phase of the partnership, 92,000 direct jobs are expected to be generated. Over 11,000 hectares of land will be cultivated, and the national food output is expected to increase by over 50,000 metric tons of yield. NERSEL will provide credit guarantees for the loan.
We are committed to providing Stanbic IBTC with the necessary risk cover they need to lend to agriculture, and we're happy that the management of Stanbic IBTC has agreed to partner with us on this project. I would like to note that the focus of this scheme is not only in enabling access to finance by beneficiaries. Our experience shows that finance alone does not solve the problem. As a risk management company of the Central Bank of Nigeria for Agriculture, part of NERSEL's role in this partnership is to stand by beneficiaries, ensure that they succeed and pay back whatever facility they take under this partnership.
We must ensure that agro-business is prioritized, and indeed that agro-business men and women, youth and adults have access to affordable facility such as this.
Already, 10 billion naira has been committed into the project. The project is expected to impact on the lives of over 200,000 people.
The Ogun State governor appears to be matching words with action regarding his promise to set up a multi-campus Ogun State Polytechnic Ipokia Yewa area of the state. Governor Ibukune Amosu today officially laid the foundation of the school, stressing his commitment to the human capital development. The institution is a replacement for the existing state-owned Moshood Abiola Polytechnic in Abeokuta, the state capital, which is to be converted to Moshood Abiola University of Science and Technology.
The sense of duty, sense of history, really, to lay this foundation for this great institution of learning, the Ogun State Polytechnic here in Ethiopia, to the glory of God, and for the benefit of our people.
As various crises are being reported across the country, accurate information gathering and dissemination is becoming more and more critical to sustainable peace and development in the country. To enthrone truth and deepen professionalism in the Nigerian media industry, the Channels Academy has trained government spokespersons in international best practices as crisis communication becomes a necessary aspect of their function. During the 5-day training exercise, which ended today at the Channels Academy in Abuja, issues affecting government spokespersons in the country came to focus as solutions were proffered to tackle them. Our correspondent, Ajiri Ngalale, reports.
One newspaper tells of open conflict between a state governor and the Nigerian police force. Another newspaper offers reports that another state executive is contradicting the National Army about sensitive operations. Would there be continuous crises in the country if those trained to speak spoke, if those meant to observe observed, and if those empowered to act acted? One central question as government spokesmen are trained at the Channels Academy here in Abuja.
To get your message out.
Iron sharpens iron as these experienced media practitioners commence training.
Certain things can also be brought up.
This strategic training on crisis communications come at a critical time.
Let nobody make any mistake within the ambit of the law. We shall definitely apply the rule of engagement to the fullest.
Theme of this thing, those messages. We've seen how not to do it, right?
After 5 days of training, international media trainer Eduardo Cui says government officials must carry spokesmen along in the decision-making process.
Most unfortunately, communications people or spokespeople are not given the seriousness that they deserve. It seems to me that a lot of the leadership, maybe ministers and the like, still have not quite understood how important communicating is in our age.
By the time we show skill, by the time we show a new way of doing things, I'm sure they will bring you back into the decision-making platform.
Don't ever go back to that ever again.
Often dealing with the fallout of decisions they are not allowed to inform, spokespersons are now equipped with new techniques.
Especially getting us to understand that you must identify the product that you are giving to the public, and that your understanding of that product, in which case it could be a policy of government, it could be a decision of government, that your ability to understand it make you to be in a position to communicate it very well.
Sponsors note that trying times require evolving skills.
Managing information is crucial to ensuring that the people can hold the government accountable, but also that they have the information they need to evaluate issues and personalities fairly objectively, not only during elections, but in between.
In a diverse nation known to join politics with nearly every issue, the fake news phenomenon wields greater potency, the cost of which is seen most glaringly in crises and the responses to them. Ajuri Ngalale, Channels Television News.